Hey everyone, I'm Bill. I'm with Cali Moto TV. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Eurocycle Sonoma here in Santa Rosa, California, where it's here. The 2020 BMW S 1000 XR has finally arrived in the States and I'm super excited. And I'm going to tell you guys, I had to do it this way because I had to point out everything that I thought I was wrong on this bike. So let's do an in-depth walk around on this thing and let's see what differences really in person it looks like, and then let's get this thing out on the road and see how it does out on the streets. All right guys, so I really wanted to go through everything in depth on this bike because there is a lot of surprises, I would say. There's some stuff that I didn't anticipate that this bike had, and it just really slipped by us. So first I want to tell you guys, I absolutely love this color. This is called the Ice Gray, and apparently the dealerships here in the US are getting one Ice Gray and one red. If you want an Ice Gray, Eurocycle has it. There's no deposits on this thing. Now this particular bike has a touring package, which is going to give us the racks and the saddle brackets in the back. It's also going to give us the hand protectors up front. Of course, we've got it on the center stand, and it also is going to come GPS prepped. So that is the touring package. Now the dynamic package is obviously the keyless ride. You can see we've got our keyless ride keys in there, so very cool. And it's also going to come with the heated hand grips, the cruise control, heated hand grips, the cruise control, and the dynamic package comes with the up and down speed shifters. So super cool. Oh, something I didn't know that was going to be an option coming on these things is this did come with the LED auxiliary lights, which is wired straight in, and we're turning those bad boys on right there. Okay, and then this is the high windshield. So there's two windshield versions. This is what the high windshield looks like. Of course, it's going to have the whole LED package for the headlights. And let's turn these things on because the headlights look super cool. So when they wake up, you can see the auxiliary lights come on. Wow, this just looks absolutely stunning. So something that I didn't expect to see as we walk around to the back is the S1000RR tail light blinkers are integrated into the new XR. So something very cool. And of course, in the dash, we're going to go over the dash real depth when we get out on the road. But basically, everything is just very streamlined to what BMW's kind of really doing right now. And then, of course, it does have the keyless gas cap, which is something that I really love. Now, here's some surprising stuff that I didn't realize is I didn't understand that they were changing this motor as much as they did. And if you look real close up on the side, you can see the sides of the motor. It's an all new motor for the S1000. It is not obviously the S1000RR motor, but it does look like it does have the S1000RR exhaust, just a little bit different. So and then again on the other side you can see that the motor's changed. So we're looking at an inline 4. We are at 999 cc, so same size, 165 horsepower. That's at 11,000 RPMs, so huge horsepower. It's got a this one in particular has a 5.3 liter tank, or excuse me, gallon tank. So basically 5 gallon tank. Let's see what we're looking at for the brakes, because everyone talks about the brakes, and I want to really clarify the differences in the brakes, because the brakes, I'm not sure why BMW has done this, but we have the Nissan brakes. It looks like this is like off on R9T, so kind of interesting here. Down to Brembo rotors, but the Hayes S1000 calipers, steel braided lines. And then when you get into the back, the S1000RR still had a Brembo caliper. It looks like this is a BMW, possibly a Hayes caliper, Brembo rear rotor. So that's the braking system. And then of course we've got the Nissan Master. which let's hope that that works out well. Front wheel, you're looking at a 17-inch cast aluminum wheel. So basically the standard 17-inch wheel for the front, and getting it back into the rear, we're running on a, the front is no, the rear is also 17, both 17-inch wheels. This is running on a 190 55 17, and this is the Bridgestone Battle Axe Sport Touring T31R. So that's what tires are coming on this particular one. Now, I believe that there are a couple different tires coming on these tires, but, and then of course it does have the electronic suspension. So we do have the electronic suspension. We'll deal with that and work with that when we get out on the road. But just very cool. I mean, some of the things that I didn't anticipate, I didn't know that this was coming with the S1000 taillights, the exhaust, obviously, same as the S1000. The motor was the most surprising thing, because I've done and I've seen some stuff, but I haven't seen too much on this. So, but the color is just absolutely gorgeous. So let's get out on the road. Let's get this out. I'm super excited. Zach said he only rode it like a mile. So we're gonna take it 5 miles out on the back roads, and let's see how this thing does out on the road. All right, guys, look at this day. We are social distancing out here at Eurocycle Sonoma, and they are on their, they're kind of on a light schedule. So they are taking appointments for sales. Sales is open, appointments for service. So if you guys have any social distancing needs here in Sonoma, they've got it. But the brand new 2020 BMW S1000 XR is finally here, guys. It's finally here. I'm so excited. And like I said in the earlier vlog, you know, I pointed out some of the differences in the motors. So, you know, I knew that they were making some changes to where the water pump was. So the pump's gone. The cam chain tensioner cover is gone on this side. S1000 RR style exhaust, we've moved it over here. So we've got quite a bit of changes to the new XR. So let's get on this thing and see. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Super Beast, the S1000 RR, is here for sale. So thank you, Zach, for taking that. But let's get on this thing and the feel of this. So let's get the power up XR with the absolutely gorgeous TFT display. BMW, thank you. It's one of my favorites. I will say that Triumph is outdoing you guys right now with their new 8.4-inch display, but this is adequate, very, very adequate. So let's get this thing fired up. Now, just like the BMW S1000 RR for 2020, they do have the temperature gauge. So you see that the red line is down at about 5,000 RPMs. You're going to notice as this thing, and now we're at 2,000 RPM, so we're kind of at a high rev. But as it revs down and kind of settles down, you're going to notice that the temperature goes up and the revs go up to allow us to have a little bit more revs. So it's actually kind of gives you a good, let's make sure that this thing is nice and warmed up before we get out riding on the road. So you'll notice, you see it starting to creep up already, and you'll notice here in a second. But let's go over real quick. Let's go over the instrument display, or the on the handlebars as that raises up and the bike gets a little bit of warm. So we've got a nice little key compartment down here. We do have the dynamic package on this bike. So we do have the keyless ride, which is very nice with the keyless ride gas cap. Super nice. Over here we've got on the clutch side, we've got our high beams and our flashers and high beams. We've got our cruise control, hazard lights, suspension, menus, and we'll go through all of this out on the road. This does have the LED fog lights, which are controlled by here, so they're now on. And then we've got our horn. Over here, you're going to have the heated hand grips, our different modes, so we can go between dynamic, road, and rain. We'll get to that, and then our on and off. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and see how this thing feels out on the road. The new 2020 BMW S1000 XR. All right, guys, we're back here in the back roads of Sonoma. Absolutely gorgeous day today. And we're on the brand new 2020 XR. And where we kind of left off, you can see the tachometer has kind of crept its way back up to about 11,000 RPMs. Where, mind you, we have 165 horsepower waiting for us up there. And this bike, like I said earlier, we are equipped with the dynamic package. So we do have the quick shifter, and we have some of the other options like the dynamic suspension and whatnot. But let's get first into the feel of this thing and how I feel out here in the saddle, because we are on like a saddle style seat. And I'm not too impressed with the seat for a couple reasons. One, it's somewhat hard. Two, it's angled at a way that it's kind of pushing me forward. And then it's very wide in the tank, so it's pushing me to make me spread my thighs out, which isn't a comfortable position. I really want to be back further, but the back of the seat is preventing me from doing that. So riding position doesn't work too well for me. I'm 6'2", 230 pounds, so if that's you may not like the riding position. But outside of that, the ergonomics of the bars are very nice. I feel like the bars are a little bit narrower than the previous XRs. And the tank, on the feel of the tank, from where my legs go into the tank, outside of it being a little too wide, in my opinion, the foot position is very nice. And of course, again, we have the quick shifter, so that's very nice and works very well. I, of course, love the BMW quick shifter. I will tell you that, of course, the neutral, finding neutral is, of course, still an issue, so apologize for that one. So getting into the riding position of this bike is you're much more sporty than the Tiger 1200 that I own. The Tiger 1200, I'm more upright, I'm more comfortable feeling. This definitely is the XR style, so you're definitely more of a, you know, let's go out on the twisties, let's get this thing ripping, right? Now we're in the road suspension setting in the dynamic throttle, ABS, and traction control setting. So we've got a little bit better suspension right now, but let's throw this. Now this is my button that I griped about for the S1000RR, is it didn't give you the ability to be in dynamic mode and change the suspension on the fly. So if I wanted to go from road suspension to dynamic suspension but be in vice versa, I couldn't do that on the S1000. But on the XR we do have the ability to be in dynamic mode and change it to road suspension or vice versa. So let's hit this and let's go into road mode, close the throttle, and then change the suspension over here to dynamic, close the throttle. So now I've got the opposite of where I was. Obviously I'm in road throttle and the road throttle, ABS, and traction control, but I'm on the dynamic harder suspension. Now generally you would be more of the opposite. Here in California you'd be on dynamic traction control and ABS and throttle, and then you'd want to be on road, or you can push and hold. And this is the at idle you can change the seat or the suspension height by pushing and holding the suspension button. And then of course we've got our traction control and ABS off, so this is our wheelie control, so we've got that, then the ability to change that right there on the fly. very smooth, very nice power. You know, not much difference from the S1000 standard motor that we're generally used to. Let's go ahead and down Windsor River Road, and this is a nice little open up for us. Get up to cruising altitude. So nice big sweepers, so you can see very, very responsive on the steering. And the suspension where we are right now feels very, very nice. But of course, look at this road. We can't complain with this. They must have gotten some of the SB1 tax money. Very nice feel. Now, this does have the larger windscreen. I've got it up now, and then of course we can push it down. So the windscreen is, I would have rathered a slightly larger one. I would have rathered it down about there, and then when you push it up, give me a little bit more. And then of course we have the GPS mount that is available in addition. Thank you. So cable clutch, and we're at the brakes are. This looks like the R9T Master, so it may be off the R9T. I would have liked them seeing throw that Brembo caliper on there that they have on the S1000 RR, but of course cost is much different. So, but you know, when we're talking about cost wise, you know, I mean, this is, you know, a few $1,000s less than the S1000 RR, but you know, it also didn't get the new S1000 RR motor. So but with the changes of this, I would have thought that they would have gone a little bit more, I don't know, I expected a little bit different. I'm honestly, there's some things that have changed on this, but I honestly expected it to be a little bit more new. It's very similar to the old one. It does have some refines to it, like the tail light's gone, and it's got the blinker tail lights, which are kind of cool if you like that. Like a lot of the S1000 people, they're really chopping those tails off, and they're putting the integrated, they're putting the tail light back on, which is kind of wild. And so the shifting is obviously, now this is not able to be flipped over for GP shift. Now, some of the people ask me why I really ride in GP shift. All my bikes have been typically a setup for GP shift because I ride them on the track, and it makes better sense to me. But now I've got, you know, the R9T, which is standard shift, and I've got the Tiger 1200, which is standard shift. So now it becomes a little bit more natural for me to ride like this bike, because most of my bikes now are standard shift. So not the ability to go with the standard shift, but let's get on. So it definitely has some nice pickup. And let's make sure we're in road mode, so perfect. So let's go ahead and flip on the cruise control, and we're at 70 miles an hour. So the TFT display's got some very, very good information, and it's got some pertinent information. Obviously, you've got your ability, it gives you the temperature, your time, gear indicator, dynamic mode, miles, your speed, and your tachometer. But there is another riding mode that if you go into the main menu and you go into the sport mode, it gives you a different option for your riding mode. It gives you your lean angles, gives you your braking, your max braking, it gives you your traction control. So this is a little bit more racy style. I prefer to be back in the standard the standard gauge cluster personally. There we go back down here. We've got our My Vehicles. So the My Vehicle setting, we do have TPS in this bike, or on this bike. So the My Vehicle setting's nice because BMW's done a perfect job of giving you all of the in-depth of the bike, and it gives you everything in green, which is very, very nice. So everything in green is basically indicating that, you know, everything is okay. Check is okay. So we've got good temperature, 167 degrees, front with tire pressure. I don't want to get into the TPS systems with BMW, but 38, 42. Our voltage is up good, and we've got 58 miles on the tank of gas. Now we can roll this through to the right of the cluster, and it can give us into our tripometers, our onboard computers, and our tripometer 1, and our this is the tire pressure and the tire monitors. So we can see this is actually a pretty cool screen. We can actually see what the spec is supposed to be, what it actually is, and what the change difference is. Now here's where I don't like is this screen is not changeable. We're going to park here and go through the back menus because obviously we can't do that riding, but this is not changeable, and it was one of my biggest gripes on the S1000RR. And then of course we got our service requires a 600-mile service, due in 2016. So back here at Eurocycles. Now this bike, if FYI, if you guys are interested and you guys are local to the Bay Area, this bike is available. So if you're interested in it, it is available. But let's go through some of the back menus, and let's show you guys where. So all of the menu settings you'll see here, menu obviously up or down, takes you through your different settings, and then your toggle round so you can go right or left. Okay, and then we've got our navigation. We've obviously have our media and telephone, which you Bluetooth app through the BMW Bluetooth app, which is very cool. It's very integrated. I use it on the S1000RR, and it's very, very nice. And then of course your settings. So get into the settings, and there's so much in the settings. So we'll scroll this up and we'll just do a brief view. We've got our different modes and our you know, tire pressure warnings to go back out, and then shift lights. Do we want our shift light on? Yes, we've got it on. Configurations and pro riding modes, and then we go back to system settings, so you can change the date and times. And then connection, so you can connect to your Bluetooth phone, and then you've also got the options to connect to your Bluetooth helmet, so you can talk to your, you know, your passengers and whatnot. Back displays, you can change the brightness of the displays, and you can change the different contents of what you want on the displays and what you want on your tripometers. Do you want to see consumptions and riding modes and riding times, and do you need brakes and disc speeds? And so just a lot of, you can check any one of these and keep them, you know, kind of on. So the display, there's a lot of changeability. Information, obviously our licenses and our softwares, so, and then our reset. So back here, and then menu back up, and with our main instrument cluster display, and heated hand grips over here, our modes, stop, on and off, and I think that covers everything here in the cockpit. Of course, our power button right here, and I do like the little cubby. This is something that I'm not used to having or seeing. I'll be honest. My BMW, or excuse me, my Tiger 1200. That would be nice to have that little cubby. And of course, we've got our keyless gas cap, which is nice. So we can pop this up, and you have something like 30 seconds or a minute from when you turn the bike off, the keys in your pocket, for that to work. And then after that certain time, that does lock, which is very nice. So let's go ahead and put this down and take one quick final look around this thing. Yeah, I mean, it absolutely looks absolutely gorgeous, but the seat is my biggest gripe. You can kind of see how the tank goes really, really wide, and it's really, really narrow, and the seat, the saddle of the seat is very, very small, and you're restricted. So seat options are going to be very nice to see what's going to come out for that. And then of course this has a touring package, so you're able to throw the bags on it. So the 2020 BMW S1000 XR is finally here, and there's just so much on this bike. So comment down below and let me know. Give me some positive notes on this bike. What do you guys know about this bike? I'm sure I missed some statistics, so be positive about it, please. But leave me a comment down below in anything that I missed. Weight on the bike is 465 pounds. I believe that's the curb weight. That is dry, so you're probably at about 475 pounds on your soak and wet bike. So pretty nice weight on the bike. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, and of course smash that like button. Leave me a comment down below and tell me, what do you think? Are you guys digging it? I'm up between it. I'm not gonna buy it, so that should say something, because there's some bikes I get on and I just want to buy it, but it's not a bike that I'm gonna definitely want to buy. It's not a bike for me, but if you guys are interested in it, they do have it here at Eurocycle. So again, smash that subscribe button and that like button, and leave me a comment, and we'll see you guys next video. Thanks, guys.